Tell me, what's all this commotion about?
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
Reports of strong interference with radio.
Here we go.
Hello and welcome to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you live from both California and Alabama. My name is Sasquatch, and my buddy on the other end of the mic, his name is Denton.
Hello, Sass. How are you?
I'm doing well, my friend.
Excellent.
Well, just to catch everybody up to speed, what we're doing here is this is our first YouTube podcast. At least fingers are crossed that this is our first YouTube podcast. So if you're hearing this, you're obviously listening to it on YouTube. We also are on Podomatic and iTunes. You can catch us there, or you can email us at dentonandsasshow@gmail.com. So anyway, we're going to keep this short, under 15 minutes, our first one, and it's going to be all about what's going on with Roy Moore. So Denton, fill us in on what's going on with that man.
Okay. You have to have been living under a rock for the last few days to not know what's going on with Judge Roy Moore. And basically, I texted Sasquatch at work and said, I want to do a podcast. I'm just sick and fed up with this crap. So here we are.
And I texted him back and called him a redneck with no teeth. But anyway.
Yes, and I do have teeth. I keep them in my pocket when I'm not talking or eating. That's not true. But anyway, Judge Roy Moore is running for the seat that was left vacant by Senator Jeff Sessions. Roy Moore has served, obviously, as judge. He served as assistant attorney, district attorney, whatever, in his county, which is up north from where I'm at, and I don't remember what it is. But because he's running now, if you don't know Judge Moore, he is extremely conservative and very Christian. He stands by his principles that are Christian-based and constitutionally based. And if you don't know much about politics, why are you listening to us to begin with? But this kind of stuff really pisses off the establishment people, both Democrats and Republicans. They've got a nice little thing going on up there for themselves, and they don't want any crazy constitutional-minded people up there. They have enough with people like Rand Paul.
Yeah,
they don't need another.
God forbid they use the Constitution. Yeah,
they can't make money off of us that way. But anyway, he beat out Luther Strange. Luther Strange was he was backed by Mitch McConnell, and even Trump, for whatever reason, backed Strange. Bad move, Don. Very bad move. Well, now we're a month away from an election between Judge Moore and a dude named Doug Jones. Now, Doug Jones is as left-wing loony as you can get. Hug a homo, kill an innocent baby, all that kind of stuff. He is all in favor of all that stuff. And he's also going to go right along with the establishment bunch, which, of course, means raping and pillaging the American citizens. So all of a sudden, this woman comes out and says, hey, Judge Moore, back in 78 or 79, when I was 14 years old, he took me to his house and he had me stripped down, and he stripped down to his underwear, and he placed my hand on his private parts, and I felt uncomfortable, but then he let me go. Now, nobody's believing this. This is a woman who is, I'm not one to talk about failed marriages, but she hasn't kept it together in the house. She's gone through a few bankruptcies, and she's also accused 3 pastors of sexually assaulting her.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah. Now, what are the chances that this woman has such pitiful luck? Okay, nobody's believing this. Nobody in this state believes this to be the case. Now, we've had other people come out, which, by the way, they didn't just come out. They were sought after, paid to come out and say these things. Well, Judge Moore dated me when I was 16, and another one was, 18 years old, and he kissed me. He was 32, and he kissed me.
A little creepy.
Well, that's you're not going to have much to talk about with such a little bride there, Judge Moore. I don't know what you're thinking about at the time, but I know my second wife was 14 years younger than me. It don't work out too well. I mean, I know some people who did marry young girls, and they've been married ever since, and everything's great. I wouldn't ever try it again. I'll tell you that. But anyway.
Well, it was a different time back then as well. So
it was a different time, and the women were raised a little bit more maturely. We didn't have these game boxes and everything. But it's all immaterial. And plus, out there in the country, I'm not knocking country folk or anything. I'm just saying they do things a little different. And, at one time it was kind of standard where a man would marry a woman that was much younger.
Well, yeah, look at Jerry Lee Lewis. I mean, he married, what was it, his cousin?
Yeah.
And she was...
Did he kill her?
She was 16 and he was, I don't know, in his 30s.
Is that the one he allegedly killed?
You know what? I'm not sure. I heard the story about him marrying his cousin.
Yeah. So, but anyway, this is a horrible thing. Now, Judge Moore, if you listen to Sean Hannity, was it Friday, I think, he was interviewing Judge Moore, and Judge Moore says, I think I know these girls. I remember them as fine girls, and so were their parents. He would ask the parents for permission to date their daughter, which, of course, is also the gentlemanly thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they were giving him the green light. Okay, now, the liberals are trying to say, well, he's a perv, he's a monster, he's a predator. No, he just was kind of young and didn't understand that chances are nowadays that's not going to work out. But he came clean with that.
Well, and just to make the point, dating back then wasn't, hey, come over and Netflix and chill with me and we'll have sex like it is today. It was, we'll go to the malt shop, we'll go to a movie, we'll go to dinner. Maybe if I'm lucky, you'll hold my hand.
Mm-hmm. Man, understanding how Judge Moore's upbringing was, he was a Christian, very strict in his ethics and codes. That first story is not believable whatsoever. That's the only thing that he has vehemently denied. The other ones, he's calling them fine women, fine girls, and their parents are fine people. And so, I dated them, I kissed them. He's not denying that. Okay, so they're doing their dangdest because that first thing didn't fly. Everybody didn't believe it. We see what's going on. We're 1 month from the election. We know that Mitch McConnell, and that's another thing. You got Mitch McConnell, and, of course, Luther Strange is going to come out against him.
And McCain.
McCain, why is he still breathing? He's in office. I don't want him dead, but I'm just saying, why is he still there? He's had brain surgery or brain cancer. He needs to go. But he's over there in Arizona commenting on this election in Alabama. Go away. Mitt Romney. You remember that guy, Mitt Romney?
Oh, yeah. I read that.
Yeah, I remember something about him. He ran for president.
And I find it funny that the liberals just hounded on Romney while he was running for president. But now, if there's something they agree with, they trot him out and, look what Mitt Romney says. Yeah,
and they're all establishment people. The thing that I've been talking to fellow Alabamians, okay, the Democrats kind of laugh at it and say, well, whatever. I know they're going to vote for Doug Jones anyway. But the conservatives, the Republicans, are not buying into this stuff. So if they think they're going to pull the wool over our eyes, I don't think it didn't work with Trump. They tried that crap with Trump.
Yeah.
When you keep on repeating the same little tactic and we start catching on, you better flip your tactics around a little bit because you're just going to waste time. I shouldn't be telling them this. I want them to continue. You're not going to hurt Judge Moore's reputation.
Well,
he's now 71 years old. He's not 32. He's 71. He's got a firm track record in this state for standing for the Constitution, for standing for good morals and ethics and principles.
Yeah, and I want to point a couple things out here. One, this happened, 40 some years ago, and conveniently, right near the election, now they decide to come out and tell their story. Seems a little suspect to me. Also, he's done nothing criminally wrong. And aside from him coming out and saying, yes, I had sex with these women, I did something wrong, and I deserve to be punished, which isn't going to happen, there's no way to prove it. Absolutely zero way to prove anything they're saying. So, this is nothing more than a smear tactic.
And I would hope that everybody in Alabama can figure that out. As a matter of fact, I have not talked to anybody who doesn't understand that. So I don't think his tactic's going to work. I think we're going to have Roy Moore as a senator, and life is going to be peachy.
Well, and he's still, is it 10 points ahead in the polls? I mean, not that polls can always be believed, but...
I haven't even looked at the poll. I read something in Newsweek that wasn't very flattering about him, but they were saying that Doug Jones was now in the lead. This is like 10, 11 hours ago. So who knows, but there's plenty of time. They're going to be throwing more mud at him. But I still really don't think. Well, I guess they're targeting the people that do the drive-by news reading.
Just read the headlines?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's basically what they always do. I mean, if you go onto Yahoo, every single thing is Trump bad, Trump horrible, conservatives bad, conservatives horrible, so anything and everything.
Now, if you go to prepperforms.net, you'll see people like Robbie that's a fantastic digger for news that's throwing things up there for people at prepperforms.net to read. And we read it and well, would you look at that? But that doesn't mean that everybody else is reading it. I'm just hoping that people will at least know Roy Moore's history for the last 2 or 3 decades and say, no, it doesn't sound like Roy Moore. I'm not going to find him guilty in public opinion because I know what this fella has stood for many years now. Well, and the hypocrisy of it all is, there's a lot of these accusations flying around right now with Harvey Weinstein, George Takei, a bunch of liberal lefties. And when it comes to them, they're saying, well, he's innocent until proven guilty. But when it comes to Moore, they're like, no, he's guilty. He must have done it. We need to run him out of office. Bob Menendez, wasn't that underage hooker, if I'm not mistaken? He's still in the Senate. Yeah, that's right. Because exactly like we were just saying, he hasn't been found guilty yet, so they can't get rid of him. Well, they should. If there's a chance that this is true, he should step down and resign. You mean like all the liberals are saying about Moore? Exactly. So anyway, that's all I want to say is that I don't believe any of it, unless Moore, because I believe he is a man of ethics. And he's come out and said, yeah, I think I kissed those girls. But he denied that first crap that was thrown at him. And why would we believe, especially when immediately after it came out, the usual suspects, establishment Republicans, came out to throw rocks at him? Well, because they don't want him in there. That was the biggest thing. That was a red flag right there. Yeah, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, they might want to keep their trap shut because I think a lot of the American people are seeing this and saying, hey, yeah, how come you always seem to side with the liberals when it's someone you don't like? Yeah. Well, it's very simple. Roy Moore is not going to be establishment. He's going to be fighting against the establishment, and they don't want him there. So that's all I wanted to say. I don't know if we're close to 15 minutes. Well, we're almost to 13. Well, that's not bad. I think it's pretty good for the first YouTube. I hope we didn't suck too bad. If we did, you can comment on our suckiness at Denton and Sasquatch at gmail.com, or you can come over to prepperforms.net and join up. We're a couple of moderators there, and you can tell us how much we suck. I promise you we're not going to ban you just because you think we suck. Yeah, and our normal format is not just one little story like this. We usually talk about 2 or 3 different things within an hour of our show. So if you enjoyed this at all, make sure you subscribe to our channel and check us out either on iTunes or Podomatic, or come visit us at prepperforms.net, right? Prepperforms.net. Yeah, that one. Well, as far as I can tell, we are doomed. So drink up. Good night. Thanks for listening, everybody.